Good evening. Welcome to the third episode of Skits and Quibbles. It is me, Gordana Mitic, dressed apparently as a Russian spy. I didn't want to, but the underground was so full of people that the only way to get a seat was to wear this and a coat and a gun. It's a fake. But I had the whole empty courage to myself. All is well, all is well. Now, what else do we wear? There are things that we wear in the Balkans, and we wear them because the Empire, the Ottoman Empire, gave us so much to remember them by. See? And then we do a lot of kind of river dancing, really. I shouldn't do that because it's cultural appropriation, but I can because we do the same moves. And Ukrainians do too, because if you're from the culture that got abused a lot and utilized, and your dancing is very, very energetic because you had to be fit to run like hell from the empire. Now, in the Ottoman Empire, they had an expression that a woman is worth her weight in gold. So, and I agree. This is not gold. So, are we ready to welcome our first guest tonight? It's just Dee! Woo, 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 woo!
Morning, everyone. Good. So I'm known as Just P, the interactive comedian. So can I borrow Geordie for a second? Come on, lovely.
Yes.
So here's a list of jokes. Okay, you've got a couple of jokes on there. Now, what I need you to do in a minute, I need you to press a button, and that's the joke I'm going to do. In fact, actually, I want you to say out loud what it is.
Black man did it. Is that, am I too offensive now?
No, you can say it. It's okay.
No.
You got the black privilege. It's all right.
Oh, thank you.
So,
Can I keep it? I don't give back things.
No, you got your black card. It's fine. Keep it. Now, the joke is called "A Black Man Did It," and I need you to remember that. All right. What's the joke called?
Black man did it.
One more time.
Black man did it. Black man did it. Black man did
I
it.
need you to remember that. All right. So Mary told Joseph the baby inside was a gift from God. That wasn't the truth, was it? The truth was, a black man did it.
Excellent. Yes, hello. Now, and finally the truth comes out.
Yep, finally the truth comes out. In 2010, if you wrote into Google, "A white man stole my car," Google would correct you and say, "Don't you mean a?"
Black man did it.
You're right. How messed up is that? Now, I was in the pub the other day and I spoke to these three beautiful women. They come up to me. One had a black eye, one was 6 months pregnant, and one had like a broken leg. And we talked for a little while, and they said to me, "Guess what we've all got in common?" Guess what they all had in common?
Black man did it.
Why would you say that? No. They were sisters.
Oh! It actually works better when you've got a white person next to you. But I'm not white. I'm just hiding.
Yeah, no.
I'm half.
Next one, please.
Yes. Does she need burping?
No, it should be fine.
That's it. Black privilege. Oh, I like
Black
that
privilege. All right. So, as you can see, I'm a black man. And as a comedian, I travel up and down the country, and I go all different places. And often I'm the only black person there. And people treat me differently. But it's not always a bad thing, people. Sometimes it's a good thing. It's what I call my black privilege. And I explain how it works. So do you know when you go into like a shop like Matalan, okay? You pick up a T-shirt, you're like, "I like this, I'm going on holiday soon." But then you look like there's no price on it, and you're like, "Well, there's no price on it." So you look around, you're like, "Does anyone actually work here?" Do you get that problem when you go into shops? No one seems to work there.
Regularly, yeah.
I don't have that problem. I start as security guards have been following me around for the last 20 minutes. Black privilege.
Brilliant.
Now, last summer, me and the missus went on holiday. Okay, we went to Portugal for the weekend. And in the evening, we took the kids with us. And in the evening, we left the kids in the hotel room. We left the doors open. We left the windows open. We came back 4 hours later. Guess what?
They were still there.
You're right, the kids are still there. Black privilege!
Don't know how that happened.
So before I go...
Shall I do yoga position now? I'll do yoga position.
Before I go, I'm going to do an impression of my dad, if that's okay?
And as always, the Slav women are left holding the baby. Well, you've got to be a practical woman as well. I was walking in Chelsea earlier and, you know, baby or the coat, the £2,000 worth of a coat, I reckon coat, any time beats. The woman was running after me and I'm like, no, I paid this, you know, this came out of my city girl salary. I worked not that hard to pay for it. And she goes, oh, and I thought, oh, no, she's not running after me. And she goes, yes, it is. I told you it will look good on the short, fat woman. Oh, yes, there you go. Yes. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, it's got to get changed, that's all. Got to keep it fresh. Keep it fresh.
Mile High.
Mile
High Club.
Okay. Do you know what the Mile High Club is?
No.
So what the Mile High Club is when you have sex on the airplane. Now I'm going to tell you about a story about the time I was so close to having sex on the airplane. I was 20 years old. I was like my sexual peak. I was horny. I was single. And I went on an 8-hour flight. Now while I was waiting for the flight, there was an under-21 netball team who's going on the flight as well. And I thought this is my perfect opportunity to join the Mile High Club. So I took my seat on the airplane first, and I was watching all these netball teams sit down. I think one of them was going to have to sit next to me. Fortunately, that wasn't the case. A 76-year-old woman called Doris sat next to me. And I thought to myself, that's blowing my chances. I'm not going to get a chance to join the Mile High Club. So I just fell asleep. I woke up, and I felt this really wet feeling on my lap. And I'm like, what the hell is that feeling? I looked down, and Doris had fallen asleep with her head on my lap and started dribbling. I think to myself, does this count?
I reckon it does.
I wasn't so sure, but I thought, you know what, I'm enjoying the moment, I want to go sleep. So I woke up an hour later and Doris' head was still down there. So I thought, it's time to wake Doris up. So I was tapping Doris on the back of her head saying, wake up, Doris! Wake up, Doris! Wake up! No, that's bad, doesn't it? Wake up, Doris! Doris didn't wake up. Ever. Doris had died. So I thought, you know what, I need to call someone to get help. So I put my dick away, pressed a little button, and the woman came over and said, look, you need to move seats. You can't stay here. She's clearly died. So I moved seats, and I sat next to the captain of a netball team. And I thought, this is fantastic. I'm going to get my chance now. So me and her were talking, like me and you were talking, and eye contact was just like me and your eye contact, and she's beautiful just like you. And she's like, do you want to go back to the bathroom for a bit of naughtiness? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. She's like, let me just check on my gran first.
Just be. You decided to take your comedy in a different way, and from your set it sounds like you've got a little bit of activism and you're reframing some of your maybe life experiences, channeling it through humour. And it's so light touch and fabulously music, but also we sense a little bit of undertone of the tapestry of the dark. You've got to play with the dark. We play with the dark. We dance with the dark.
Absolutely.
So elaborate on that, please, for us.
So, as a man who's gone through relationships which involve marriage and kids, and it's broken up and it's not ended well, life has been quite tough for me, and I've had to find ways of dealing with trauma. And especially during COVID, the way I dealt with trauma was through laughter. So I decided to turn my trauma into laughter, but also as a man who's got a perspective on the world from a man's eyes, I wanted to appeal to the mental health of men, and also discuss things that men see but don't feel they're comfortable saying out in public because they get chastised for it. So I will say things which will seem very male-orientated, It's because it is. I'm talking about my experiences in my life and because what's happened. But I've tried to turn it around in a way that's more interesting, more likeable, more enjoyable. And I take a lot of my inspiration from the music industry. So when you go and see live music, a lot of musicians, they sing songs that you've heard many, many times before. When they get to the chorus, what do? They put the mic out to the audience for them
And
to sing,
yes.
and that's what I'm doing with my comedy.
Yes. Loving it. And also from especially the black privilege, for example, you almost using totally positive psychology. Martin Seligman, I think our lovely producer will know about this because she's been working on that for years. But it's a beautiful example of a comedy using that positive and putting it into action, positive psychology. Well done.
Well,
really enjoyed that.
I think it's really important because as a black man who travels up and down the country, there's a lot of places I go where they're not used to seeing black people, and if they do see black comedians, all they hear from black comedians is the negatives and trying to make white people feel bad about what's happened in the past. I can't get away with the fact that, not talking about the fact that I'm black, and a black experience, but there are positive things and there are a positive spin on what a black experience, and I wanted to show that to people as opposed to saying, oh, I'm black and the whole world's against me. I'm black and you know what, I have an advantages.
Beautiful, love it. What is your plan? You retired last year, a couple of years ago from you are now a full-time comedian. Tell us about that journey, that transition, because it's a big thing. You had a real job in this world.
Yes.
And then you went for another even more real job because this one has a mission. You are on the mission. This one's heart journey.
Absolutely.
And soul.
So I'm not a full-time comedian as yet. I do still have a few jobs to do just to obviously pay the bills, because comedy, unfortunately, isn't the most lucrative of business, especially at this level.
Yes.
But I decided about a year and a half ago, when I got a redundancy package from my job, to put my head in the chopping blocks and put myself out there. Bought myself a camper van. I travel up and down the country, and about 4 or 5 times a week, probably more than I actually do my normal job, I do comedy. And forget about the money, the ability to make people laugh, and forget about what's going on in life. Because if you turn the TV on nowadays, all you see is negativity, and this person's killing this person, or this state's killing this person, or possession and the money. I just want to give people an opportunity to laugh and forget about it for a moment. Because laughter for me is the best drug. It doesn't cost much, and you know what? Afterwards, you don't feel crap.
Welcome to the set, Felix Orlo.
Hello, how are you all doing? We're doing good?
It is.
Yay. I'm not actually. Yeah. I think we're in a weird time. I mean, sort of sanity in this economy. Get out of you, bunch of nuts. But I sort of, I know it's a bit unoriginal to be a sort of, as another comedian talking about being a little bit sad. But here we are. Over the years, I feel like I can talk about this from a good space, because over the years, my mental health, it's flip-flopped all over the shop. And I can always tell that I'm sort of going through a bit of a sort of depressive spell, because I'll start going on all these rogue quests, super rogue, super weird quests. And if I'm just going to, pull one from the top of my head, it would be bunking off work, driving around for hours and eating paninis in an empty church. I've done that more times than I care to remember, really. And I'll be sat in the pews, eating my tuna melt, staring up at the big guy, the J-Dog, and it's, carved out of wood up there on the cross. And it's hard, we're similar sort of age, he's early 30s, some late 20s, and it's hard not to compare yourself to a peer. And, from what I hear, he was a pretty nice guy. Did a lot of, pretty sound, did a lot of nice stuff. Could probably fill a book with all the nice things he did. Also, clearly did crunches. Do you know what I mean? My man is shredded. I've sort of got the physique of an iPhone 3. And, maybe the most unbelievable thing about Jesus Christ, the virgin birth, allow it. Turning water into wine, That's fine with me. But the most unbelievable is the fact that he had 12 friends that regularly managed to schedule in dinner dates, despite being in their 30s. I'm sorry, that never happened. You heard it here first. I know it's controversial, but it's the kind of comedian that I am. But you know, I do have friends. I love my friends. I don't have 12. I love my friends. I love my family. They've gotten me through a hell of a lot of stuff. And you shouldn't have favourites, but I do. My favourite is my little nephew Billy, and Billy's a weird kid. I know Billy's a weird kid because friends of our family describe him as having an old soul. And what they mean by that is that they find Billy a little bit creepy and he always wears a trilby hat. Yeah, I mean, I love the kid. I'll give you another example of how he's weird. Billy loves maps. He's obsessed with maps. Maps all day, maps all night. And so from a very young age, he knew what the word cartographer meant, right? Meaning map maker. And you'd go to him, you'd be like, Billy, mate, what do you want to be when you're older? And he'd turn to you and he'd be like, cartographer. And that's great. That's all fine and dandy and fine and well. Until one day I'm going to pick up Billy from his little mate Emily's house. And me and little Emily's mum, we're sat in the kitchen and the kids come running through. And little Emily's mum turns to Billy and goes, Billy, sweetie, I don't think I've ever asked, what do you want to be when you're all grown up? And Billy, not missing a beat and staring this woman dead in the eyes, goes, gynecologist. Since when, you little freak? It's like that kid woke up one morning and thought, today I choose chaos. But yeah, I love him. He's a very sweet, very sweet, very weird kid. Close in second is my mum. I do love my mum. She's this very, very short, very middle class woman. She's a real peach. She likes stuff like labradoodles and cold water swimming, and willfully forgetting that I'm on antidepressants. Yeah, it's this fun little dance that we do, and it'll go something like this. She'll come across my medication, and she'll hold it up like a poo bag and be like, Felix, what's this? And I'll be like, Mum, we've done this 1,000 times, right? So I'll be like, I'm fine, you're fine, we're all fine. It's just some tablets that help me get through the end of the day, okay? And then she'll come on with something quite melodramatic, like, I knew I should have taken you cold water swimming more often. Or other really unhinged advice, like, have you tried eating cashews? Cashews, lady. No, I haven't, because it turns out Prozac is really good. What, chef's kiss. But I'm being a bit unfair on my mum, because at the end of the day, she just wants me to be happy. She wants me to be settled, because I am single. Not only am I single, I'm pansexual and single. Do you know how many genders have got to reject you for that to really start to sting? For those of you who don't know what pansexuality is, it's basically bisexuality for attention seekers. But yeah, basically, I'm attracted to everyone with a consciousness. You know, men, women, non-binary people. Honestly, once a really sexy dolphin. Some advanced colonies of mould. But yeah, I kind of seem to have left all that queer stuff to the side at the moment. I'm currently dating 3 men, which is that good for mental health? Seems unlikely, doesn't it? And I'm only mentioning that in the story because it is kind of legendary. And I'm dating these 3 guys. One of them's from my neck of the woods, Garden of England, Kent. If that garden was a car park full of people that look like Doc Cotton. The other two, they're not English. One of them's from Derry. He's got this lovely lyrical accent. And the other guy's from Aberdeen. And I love it when Scottish people make ooh sounds. You know, like hot air balloon. Oh. Yeah. Or in my case, oi Felix, you look like Helena Bonham Carter in the back of a spoon. You know, just like really cute stuff like that. But you know, it's the 21st century. You shouldn't feel ashamed for shagging 3 people at the same time. You know, brown hair don't care, baby. Let's leave shame in the past. But you should be ashamed if you're a comedian. And only last week you realised that you are indeed shagging an Englishman, an Irishman and a Scotsman.
I've got. Where do you work? Where is your?
So I work part time in a bookshop in Waterstones. Yes, indeed. Yes, I'm a bookseller.
Oh, lovely.
She's fancy.
So what I would like to
What have we got
encourage
here?
your creativity now, young girl, and well, share with you some of the reading material that I am going to be doing over the next. This will take me about 3 days.
Oh, less than that. Easy. That's a lunch break for me.
So I was going to give you the book, and you tell me where you would keep it in the comedy Waterstones.
In the comedy Waterstones.
In the comedy Waterstones.
Okay.
So let's do a bit of improv.
Let's have a look. What have we got?
Yes.
Thinking with a dancing brain. That's easy, Rizzler. Done.
We're using it as rollies.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Totally
Smoking
support.
that. It's great for the brain. Bog roll. Yeah. Tennis player. Fuck him. Bog roll.
Novak Djokovic, serve
Yeah.
for the win. Okay. Nikola Tesla. How to increase human energy.
Now that is interesting because at the Comedy Waterstones we do have a creche for people. So because I like to browse books and not have kids knocking around. And this book is really popular with the under twos, mainly as for something to chew on. Yeah, they enjoy that a lot.
That's it. Lovely. Then we have. We have
I've seen
trilogy
these,
by the lady. We don't know. She's super smart, but I mean, you know, the
I've
books
heard,
just keep
yeah,
coming
Audrey
out.
Tang, very smart.
Yes. So, where would
What
you?
do I do?
Yeah.
What I like to
I mean,
do with
she's our
those-
boss, so just like, you know, kind of.
Oh, I'm fully aware. Yeah, what I like to do with these, if I may.
Yes.
What I like to do, because they do come in a trilogy, and
Yes.
what we do is we get them together, then we sellotape them, and then if you want to be 2 inches higher, we sort of just stick them to the bottom of our shoes. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Audrey's well aware.
And it also, she's well aware. Is she in on
She's
this
well
new
aware.
product? Is she in?
Mindfulness, yeah.
Mindfulness. She is totally mindful. Yes. And also doubles as a stepladder.
Yeah, very short one, yeah.
Yes. Especially, I'm kind of scared to throw it on the ground. I will put it here because, you know, especially if it doubles with this one. You see, I use this one to learn new French words. It's achète. And what I do every day, I read dictionary. That's how normal I am.
Right, okay.
So I open it and I go, and interestingly enough, in your case, it comes on the symbolism of religions. It came on the cross. Look, I didn't even know this is such a serendipity. And then I write for 2 hours on that subject, mostly to throw
Holy
it away.
moly. Yeah.
Or 2 hours only. But where would you, where would you place this book?
The French dictionary, I'd probably put that 9 to 12. Yeah. They love French. They love
9
the
to
French.
12, yes.
Yeah, they're
yes.
obsessed with the French at that age. It's a
So
common
it would
thing.
be kind of lower shelves, so they can reach.
Lower shelves. Yeah, Napoleon was very short, so that's quite good to keep
That's
them.
it, yes.
Keep them on a
'Cause
low
just
level.
in case if he
Yeah.
comes back to just enhance
Oh, he
his
drops in all the
vocabulary.
time, he drops in all the time.
drops in all the time.
Can't get enough of me.
Does he wear the hat, the full thing?
Can't get
the
enough of me.
headdress?
Funnily enough, I wear the hat. And then,
He's in on it.
yeah,
Oh my
ride him
God.
like a bitch out of hell. Yeah.
And finally, I wanted to share with you this book. It really traumatized
Oh, I know
me.
this one. I know this one.
It's called. You know it. It's my colleagues gave it to me. It was like we were meant to give each other like presents up to 5 minutes, £5, not more, to show how cheap our friendships are and connections at work. And I opened it on the page and it said, "Little Book of Calm, retire early." I'm 51 next Monday.
It's rude, isn't it?
I am already too late to retire
Yeah.
early. And then, I mean, just read a couple of items here. That really screws up. Maybe not your mind. For you, it's
Masturbate 6
encouraging.
times a day. Sounds quite...
I'm behind on all of those.
It's a lot of reading, a lot of
This is
homework.
so
is
much
involved in
stress.
that. If you did this properly, you'd feel a lot calmer, a lot quicker. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting because the bookshop that we're speaking about is actually padded everywhere to stop.
Does it also have those special shirts? that keep it
No,
so
obviously
warm
not. How
and-
would we stock
and
the
feeling loved?
shelves? No. But it is padded because we are wanting to just smash our skulls against the cold concrete. So what we like to do is just put these around as a little minimal point where we can just whack it against every now and again, and it calms us down.
Let's welcome our next act tonight, Duffy Connors! Woo-hoo!
I'm currently dating 2 women named Sarah, but I never specify which Sarah I'm talking about. So also things like, well, things with Sarah aren't great. But things with Sarah aren't going very well either. First date tip. If at any point you're walking over a bridge, say, hey, have you ever been kissed on a bridge? Always works, because my backup line is, hey, have you ever been thrown off a bridge? Have a routine with dates. First date, I take him to a little cafe. Second date, I bring him to the old pie shop. I'm not saying my love life isn't going well, but I've never been to that pie shop. I'm sure the pie is great, but I'll never know. Dating is like Tetris. It's harder if you're a weird shape. I'm a one-liner comedian. My life's like a one-liner. You think it's funny for 5 seconds, and then realise it's not going anywhere. There's a show called The Worst Show, where they deliberately get the worst comedians they can find. I may have been offered a couple of gigs. Imagine applying for that gig and being told, you are terrible. You're just not the kind of terrible we're looking for. I don't worry about where my audience are from, because my jokes are universal. They're not funny anywhere. I've never dated a female comedian, but I have dated women who became comedians after dating me. A lot of celebrities talk about how just before they made it, someone close to them died and never got to see the success. Doesn't matter how many people close to me die, I still don't make it. Starting to think I shouldn't have killed them. Why do penguins get to decide what books are classics? People think I'm stupid, but I'm not. I'm hard to read, like a book. I'm writing a romance novel. It's called Please. I have a podcast, but it's just me crying on my ex's voicemail. I enjoy tennis, because it's the closest thing I'll get to love. How come it's legal to go to a life drawing class, but I get arrested if I'm in the bushes doing a little doodle? I was walking into a pub, and they had a sign that said, guide dogs only. Those are the last dogs who should be getting drunk. If you're buying a drink and your contactless doesn't work, sometimes they'll hand you the card reader. That's how I got a free pint and a free card reader. I don't drink wine, but I keep a bottle at home in case I bring a lady back. It's been so long since that's happened, the wine has doubled in value. I'm a social drinker. I'm social every night of the week. Sometimes I wake up still social from the night before. I look down and realise while I was asleep, I socialised all over myself. If I was rich, I'd order 12 Wetherspoons meals a day. I wouldn't eat them, but I'd be able to say, I'm not an alcoholic. The drink comes with the meal. I'm not consistent in my choices. I make decisions the way I drink, on a case-by-case basis. I'm an Alcoholics Anonymous. Well, I was, until I said that. Me and this woman are friends with benefits, except we're not friends. But she is on benefits. I bought a pair of work boots. I don't have a job, but I wear them at the unemployment office, so it looks like I'm trying. I don't have a stable income, but I do have an income that means I have to live in a stable. I'm in between jobs, I hope. Some comedians make the audience laugh so much they hurt themselves. Don't worry, you're safe in my hands. I started doing karate because I didn't want to get beat up anymore, and now I get beat up at karate. For £10 a week. What I want in a woman is impossible to find. I want a woman who's really good taste in comedy, but also likes my jokes. You see the paradox. I think people put too much effort into chat-up lines. I just say the first thing that comes into my head. I was in Lidl buying bin bags. There's this cute woman in the till. So I said, hey, do you come with the bin bags? So I'm banned from Lidl. You meet a lot of stupid people through dating. I was talking to a woman who said she likes to read Tolstoy. I said, it's pronounced Toy Story.
So, British, UK based Irish comedian. Tell us, what is it like on the comedy circuit?
You're highly in demand on St. Patrick's Day. Suddenly we're very funny on that particular day.
St. Patrick and lots of green, yes, like Ireland, Irish. What is it with green colour of Ireland?
It's the colour of republicanism, I believe.
Right, okay. I've been told to strictly stay away from things I don't know, so I will sway you somewhere else. Now, you are the king of one-liners, one-liner comedian, amazing, and you won the Rose Battle this year.
Well, I won the most battles in the world this year.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yes, I'm just very available on Friday nights. Yeah, I won 15, so...
So, do we go into some kind of record book? I mean, why aren't we working on that?
Well, they only started keeping records this year, luckily for me, so...
But you won it fair and square.
I won a lot of battles, fair and square.
Yes. So, let's test your skills on me. So, let's do little... I just want to see how quickly you can actually make up the jokes about things. So, take me as a subject, because we might do a roast battle one day. I'll wipe the floor with you. Yeah. I'll throw you first and kick you because I know that you're bad at karate, and then I'll wipe the floor with you. It's fine. Say something embarrassing about me. Yes, I get recognized as a cougar a lot. So that's my label. So go.
Godana is a cougar, so I won't be the only man she's destroying tonight.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's actually, I see that as a compliment. Oh, I see what you did there. In one-liner, he actually covered roast battle and reverse roast battle / compliments battle.
Well, I'm lazy, so 2 jobs in one.
So if you're lazy, principle of minimum work applies. Go and train with Mr. Duffy Connors. So, since we started running Groovie Comedy, and you're part of Groovie Bunch, which is... you've been promoted to more important gigs because you've been gigging so much. We actually thought that he'd moved into the venue. We were looking for his sleeping bag and stuff. So we set it up so the hosts get more gigs. They get to host, they can do the sets whenever. So that's the benefit of being a host at the Groovie Comedy. I've run the Biver table. I've kept data for 3 years since we've opened up. Even during lockdown we've run. Duffy Connors not only came in top 3, but he actually beat every Groovie Comedy host, including me, and it's my club. So it's 1% talent, 99% hard work. Thank you so much.
Thank
Our
you.
second winner. So, okay. Right. And we have our headliner for today. I'm actually pretty scared about this. So, you know in Paso Doble when you go, you know, you are matador, you know, shaking this. Bull does not see color. Color red. Bull sees the movement. And then they do the thing to really avoid being stung. So that's what I'm doing right now when I'm bringing Dan on. And also product placement. Please welcome to the set. Hopefully very calm. Dan the man, Dan Morris!
They say on your first day in prison, you should beat a man with a chair to earn respect. And that's why my dad lost his new job as a prison guard. And I know what some of you out there are thinking. And no, I'm not that prick from 2.5 Men. I actually told that joke at a gig a week ago, and it got a very big laugh. Much bigger than in here. And at the break, an American came up to me and went, "Do you know, you do look like that guy from 2.5 Men." It's like, yes, I know. That's why I said that. If I'd have come out on stage and said, "I know what you're thinking, no, I'm not that prick from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air," there would have been a lot of confusion in the room. So I've had an eventful day. I went to a support group this morning for victims of stalking. Nobody saw me. Well, on the way there, I'm walking down the road and a guy came up with a charity tin and said, "Hello, I'm collecting for child abuse." I'm not paying for that. I got a bit further and a woman came running up with a Bible and started screaming at me. "There's a demon in you! There's a demon in you!" So I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Don't tell him." I got a bit further down the fictitious road And 2 little Greta Thunberg wannabes came up to me with some leaflets. And they said, did you know that the car park in SeaWorld is 500 times bigger than the area where the killer whales live their whole lives? Isn't that sad? So what point are you trying to make? They're not going to be any happier in the car park. One of them was wearing an Extinction Rebellion t-shirt, and the Christmas before COVID, I was on my way to work, Canary Wharf, ladies, and one of them glued himself to the side of my train. And I'm thinking, fuck, going to get delayed now, aren't we? Fortunately, the driver didn't notice. Back to the road. I then found myself in the middle of a protest. Now, this one genuinely happened. Leicester Square, International Women's Day, and a lady with a megaphone screamed out, "We demand that women stop being murdered in their homes, on the streets, and in their places of employment." And that leaves a lot of wiggle room, doesn't it? What about the woods? Really did not respond well to constructive criticism. And I like women. I met Angelina Jolie a couple of weeks ago. Whoa. That's all she said. Yeah. Dating during a pandemic was weird. One woman on her profile, she said, "I'm fully vaxxed, waxed and relaxed." Guess it's better than being scary, hairy and infectionary. And people give you weird advice when you're dating. Treat 'em mean, keep 'em keen. It's not good advice, just because it rhymes. Follow her all day. Watch out for pepper spray. Best relationship advice I ever got was from my granddad. He said to me, "Dan, do not marry a beautiful woman, because she will always have options. And if she leaves you, divorce, lose 50% of your property." Or as he put it, find someone rough and keep half your stuff. But there is a lot of talk in my block of flats at the moment about whether we should allow the children in the building to play football in the car park. And I can see both sides of the argument. I mean, I don't want my car hit by a football. But on the other hand, I think it'd be quite nice to see some of the children from the building get run over. So a lot of people think Harrow's a posh area. It's really not. My local pub is full of right dodgy geezers. The sort of men who could be in an advert for pepper spray. The sort of men who dress all year round in what I assume is the English Defence League summer collection. Last time I went in, one of them was trying to chat up the barmaid, and he said to her, "I'm going to treat you like a princess." And I'm standing there thinking, oh my God, he's going to kill her in a tunnel. Okay, if you didn't like that one, I will give you the millennial version of that joke. "I'm going to treat you like a princess." And I'm standing there thinking, oh my God, he's going to question how dark her kids are going to be. So I like American football, NFL. They were the first ones in the lockdown, couldn't let the fans in the stadium, so they put out cardboard cutouts and you could upload a picture and they'd print it on it. And for the first week, it was actually quite nice. Lots of smiling, happy American families. And then the English found out about it. Week 2 is a sea of Fred Wests, Gary Glitters and Prince Andrews. And I swear in the corner there was a little Madeleine McCann one. There is something genuinely wrong with the British sense of humour. We do find pedos funny. Every celebrity from my childhood that's turned out to be a wrong-un, I've learned about in a meme. I guarantee you tomorrow, if, hypothetically, Jamie Oliver turned out to be a bit of a nonce, within 5 minutes I would get a WhatsApp message, "So that's why he was so obsessed with school dinners. Didn't like 'em chubby." I'm still waiting for Timmy Mallet to get cancelled. Wrote a song about terrorising a girl in a polka dot bikini. She was afraid to come out of the water. Yeah, I bet she was, Tim. There was an 80s British TV presenter on the beach. Stay in the water. Although that was terrible advice at Michael Barrymore's. I tell you who the best celebrity that could turn out to be a pedo would be, for comedy reasons. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, if Arnie turned out to be our gigantic wrong-un, the fun we would have. "Who is your daddy and what time is he home? I need your clothes, your boots and your little tricycle." I mean, he was in a movie called Predator. You've just got to Photoshop in Prince Andrew. And it's not our fault, I don't think. The British, our leaders are perverts. A Tory MP got caught watching porn in the Commons. Can you imagine the type of porn that a Tory MP is into? No. I bet the narrative for most of it involves a food bank. And they don't like MILFs. Sorry, Gordy. They like smilfba. Single mother. I'd love to fuck her benefits. And it's not just the men. Priti Patel, you want to turn her on? You've got to show her pictures of a chain link fence and play the national anthem of Rwanda. I've also heard she's really into rubber. Dinghies sinking. This is so much better than a Zoom gig. I don't know if any of the comedians in the room tried to entertain people locked in their own homes for months on end. It was more like an anger management workshop. I saw one night came on and he went, knock, knock. And someone shouted back out of the Zoom, F off, we're not opening the door. He followed up with, an Englishman, Irishman and a Scotsman walked into a pub. And another voice shouted back, well, let's live in the same household. They clearly fucking didn't, did they? And I get it. I lost it in the second lockdown. Everyone remember the second one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you could meet both your parents in the park, but you all had to carry a Scotch egg. It's fucking weird down the park. You know those weirdos that hang around near the kiddies' play area? They were still there, but standing much further back. Who'd have thought we'd live to see socially distanced noncing? But yeah, the second lockdown, random things just kept setting me off. One day, I was watching a medical show, real life thing, and I like those. And it's about a woman, she gets thrown off a horse, lands very badly, then gets trampled on by 2 other horses. Almost died. I was fine with all of that. But then at the end of the show, the narrator came on and said, after 13 operations and 24 months of rehab, Sally got back on a horse. Like it's a good idea. I found myself screaming at the TV, sake, Sally, learn from your mistakes. Horses obviously don't like you and you're apparently shit at healing.
Dan.
Gordy.
So, fantastic set. Well done, you. Well done. We trained together with our coach, Mike Gunn, which appeared at the moment very much a comic in demand all over the place, recovering everything. Mike is recovering everything, a shiny example of somebody who is resilient enough and had to go through the 12-step process, all that recovery. He will be a guest in next year, so we will leave his shine to come. But he did install some bulletproofing in us. You know, training with him was kind of like training like SAS soldiers in comedy, especially heckling. Do you remember heckling workshop? And also he introduced a bit of graphene in the patches where we had holes that he'd put in there. That was my joke. Yeah. He doesn't have anger management issues. But you in your set allude a lot to anger management, and you acted out really well, because the whole point of actually doing this and a partnership with the Wellbeing Media Studios is to role play, to use performing arts to role play some of the issues in our current society, very troubled society. So what prompted you to actually include child fiddlers, for example? And
I do seem to have a lot of jokes about paedophiles.
But that's
I'm not
right.
sure why. Nothing happened to me. I'm fine.
It's a content. People are uncomfortable talking about it, and that's where humour helps us.
I don't think we are. I think the British love it. The jokes are there. I said it in my set. Every celebrity, we're just like 5 minutes after someone is outed as doing something a little bit naughty. Well, where's this going to go? Get the memes ready.
Yes. So where did you get ideas to include those? Anger management, for example. I mean, quite a big thing in mental health and psychology. And
I think a lot of my favourite comedians are angry, grumpy people. Jack D, Rich Hall, people like that. My other favourite comedians are people that tend to terrify the front row. So Terry Alderton, Phil Nichols, they will pick somebody in the front row and embarrass the hell out of them. And that's, to the rest of the room, is hilarious. And I kind of went, okay, let's pick the biggest bloke in the front row. When I first started comedy, pick the biggest bloke in the front row and scream at him very aggressively, but saying nice things. And it got such a good reaction that it became almost my whole set. And I've calmed down a little bit, I think, since then. But
good try. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see right through you. No, but you know, it's good to be, perhaps you haven't demonstrated it in your behaviours. But Now, in terms of a personal journey through comedy, just talk us through that. How did you decide? Because you have also a job outside of comedy.
Yes,
You have
I do not get paid to scream and shout at people, which is
such a
something
shame.
I'm working on. No, I like most comedians. I had a divorce. Was a little bit heartbroken, and a very good friend of mine is a professional comic and pushed me into doing a course at the Comedy Store, which is where I met you, and that was my first ever comedy experience, was doing that, and I made an amazing circle of friends and thought, this is fantastic, and then COVID happened.
And then we had to do the Zoom.
And then Zoom comedy, which was
like SAS
a horror
soldier
show.
training.
In some ways, I think it brought out a tougher breed of comedians, the people that started like that.
Yes.
But they do freak out in front of a live audience now because you can't turn them off mute or, and you have to wear trousers. So.
Rather than just stop like that. That was quite funny. Where would you like to see, I mean, if you were to imagine the success, what you see as a success, not what is seen in comedy? This is quite important to distinguish between the two. What is your picture of success?
My picture's outside of comedy?
No, outside of the comedy stereotype of a success. Because what is in comedy stereotype of success, and this is my own personal opinion, is being a miserable, I'm not going to use the word, and alone, die alone, but hey, make it to TV.
I don't want to make it to TV.
Oh, well, too late for that. Sorry about that.
No, I think...
Make sure he signs the form before he leaves.
I'm not... I have no interest in becoming famous. Unfortunately, I don't think that's ever going to happen. But
that's why you are here. That's exactly why we've selected
because
you.
I love stand-up. And, you're okay. And... No, I love doing stand-up. I love being involved in stand-up. And if I got to perform at the Comedy Store once in a while, that would be success to me. I would be happy with that. Live at the Apollo or anything like that, that would be too much. I would love to be good enough to perform at the Comedy Store. And I think that's what a lot of circuit comedians want. And then that's why they do the Gong Show, where you just get bullied for 2, 3, 4 minutes, if you're lucky, by the audience.
Gong shows, some people may see as giving the audiences green light to bully comedians. Don't you think?
I think gong shows have their place, but a lot of the audience, you need to listen to the punchline before you can decide if a joke is good or bad. If they start booing before you get your punchline out, that's not your fault. You've done nothing wrong. If you don't hear the punchline, you don't know if it's a good joke or a terrible joke.
Yes.
That's just them being a prick.
Mm-hmm.
And some people say that comedians are supposed to be able to adapt and deal with anything that's thrown at them during a performance. And, I think these are the same people that would go to the ballet and chuck a brick at a ballerina.
So that was it for this time. Join us next week, next month, whenever. Or go and watch the previous episodes so you can keep up with this one. And tonight you saw some of my favourites, darlings. They're all my children. I didn't birth them. They're none by your children. Just be! Yay! Felix Orlo! Yeah, go girl, go girl! Duffy Connors! He walks like Mr. P. And Dan Morris, Dan the man. And I've been your host, Gordana Micic, the Balkan girl, the only one. Modesty Blaze gone, so I had to take Balkan girl. Thank you so much. See you next time. Whew. Yes. Do we? Yes. Waving like bye.
So they say dress for the job you want, and I find that a bit worrisome. I think people might think I want a job, so I've taken to nudism just to make it really clear I'm not looking for work. Do you know what I mean? But that's caused confusion itself. So I had a few offers, if I'm honest.
Yes, I love coming on to a stereotype. It's fucking great. But the Kama Sutra is absolutely brilliant. I mean, little do you know, I have literally no sex drive these days. So the Kama Sutra is wasted on me. Yes. And it's not because I don't have a sex drive, it's because the missus says no.
I had a difficult couple of days. I was kept awake all last night by the sound of two foxes having sex. And I said, tonight you're in the spare room.
I always wanted to be a dancer, and my uncle said, don't encourage Rebecca to become a dancer, she'll just become a stripper. My mum's been asking how I've been making money, and I didn't really want to tell her the real answer, so I told her I was in sales, which is technically the truth. I just didn't mention it was of my own body.
Here's a big thing about comedy now,
Yes.
if you're asking me seriously. There are lots and lots of people trying to do this, and I don't think you can't really stand out unless you're, you have a unique selling point for yourself. And that unique selling point is how you feel about this world. I think Jerry Seinfeld's very, very erudite about this. When you're an actor, you're trying to find out who other people are. When you're a stand-up, you're trying to find out who you are. And the longer you do it, the more you find out about yourself. And it's a bit of a waste to nick things or try and be something you're not. And I think it's a bit of a waste of your life to do the same thing. You're trying to find out who you are.